more of this variance, you know, with the recurve archers and how they have to hold the string with their fingers and everything. There isn't that much difference for the most part. There's one or two recurve shooters out there that are kind of unorthodox, so to speak. But for the most part, they can't have too much variance. A lot of times the majority of their variance is just going to be in their grip and how they've customized their front hand position to what they like, really.
Nine.
Kind of find myself just watching. I do love to watch archery. Guess that's not good if I'm commentating. If I'm commentating,
I'm
but
right there with you. It's the tension for both teams is
absolutely. And this is coming down to a great match right here too. You can see 77-76.
They're down by 1 point.
Yep. USA in the stands is rallying. The Mexican team is all chanting as well. So there's some great fellowship here. And that's really what I like to see is, you know, there's just unity overall. And, you know, yesterday out on the main field, you know, as you walk out to the field, I always felt a lot of pride when I'd walk towards the competition field and it would just be lined with all the flags from the different countries.
Yes.
And would really make you feel like you were part of something special.
In this mixed team gold medal final.
For those of you watching that are fairly new to this, you know, in the compound category, what differentiates the bows is going to be with the compound bow, you're going to see that it's got multiple strings and it also has wheels or cams on each end of the limb. So they actually pull the bow back and it hits a peak weight, and then because of the design of the cam, that peak weight is what we call it has let off, so it reduces down to where when they're at full draw, they're holding a lot less weight than what a recurve shooter would shoot. And then they've also going to have most of them are going to be pulling more weight for a peak weight. So, you know, these compound archers, a lot of them are going to be shooting close to 60 pounds, which is going to be, you know, the max. And, you know, for the recurve shooters, some of the higher end people are going to be shooting more close to 50, I guess. Wouldn't you agree?
I believe, wouldn't 60 be the maximum?
Well, it is the maximum what they can, but I'm just saying what they do.
Yeah.
Because they're holding that full weight at full draw, so it gets pretty tough. And then also, you know, you look at the speed difference between the bows. You know, a lot of these archers right now that are shooting the compound bows, you know, they're probably shooting anywhere from 270 to 290 feet per second. So there's a tremendous amount of speed. As you can tell on the targets here, the arrows are actually super small in diameter, and if you were to hold the arrow, it would have a lot of mass to it. And the reason for that is because ballistically they are much better when you have wind if the object that's going through the air is smaller in diameter and heavier in mass weight. So you know, in other aspects of archery, they'll shoot an arrow that has a larger diameter, but in a lot of times in those situations, they're really not dealing with the type of wind and weather conditions that we do here at World Archery.
Can kind of see the winds are
they're varying now. We actually
something.
it's got a slight headwind. got 2 arrows just slammed together there.
16 points versus USA's 115.
Yep, this is a tight match. They held that lead, and this is going to come right down to the end for these two teams.
So when you're an archer in an environment where there are hundreds of people cheering for you, what is usually going through your head?
I have a pretty good case of ADD, so there's really no telling. You know, if there's anyone out there who's got some type of a degree in psychology, I've really wondered this. I always felt like my better performances as an athlete, not just in archery, but many times in archery, a lot of my better performances came when I was kind of just in la-la land, and you know, a lot of times people would come up to me and say, "Oh, sorry, I hit you with the camera," or "I didn't mean saying your name while you're at full draw," and I'd just look at them and be like, "When?" Because, you know, all that stuff was tuned out. And for these athletes that come in here and kind of get in this zone state of mind, that is what they should be experiencing. They really shouldn't hear or see any type of stimulation outside of what they're doing on the field. And if they're communicating well with their manager and, you know, in this situation with their teammate, they probably shouldn't be hearing too much of that. You know, you want to hear it, and if a lot of times you want to feed off of it, but in the same sense, you know, archery is a Zen sport. You know, once you're actually focusing down that scope and that target is behind your pin, just everything else kind of tunes out. I don't know if you've ever been on a parachute before.
A parachute?
Yeah, have you ever been on a parachute?
No, I haven't.
Well, you would think it would be really noisy up there, but it's just like total bliss.
Okay.
And that's what I strive for. I just want to be kind of flying through the air when I'm in there. I don't really want to. I want to be able to hear total silence and just kind of tune that stuff out and just really focus on. For me, what I loved about archery, this is really coming down to the gusto right here.
Yeah.
I should probably shut up on storytelling time, and we'll
need a 10 here.
Yes. Yep. He's struggled a little bit here. There it is.
Very good.
Yep, there it is. So all control on her right here. See a couple 9s here, and this could be different game. There's one of them.
There's one.
So we may end up seeing a shoot off here. Or
okay. Yeah, he needs to focus right now.
Yeah, that's one thing that if you stop, he has not done that at all. If you stop and change your shot routine, you can see he actually thought about it. So okay. So you can see I've seen this multiple times, and as a competitor, if it gets to the point where that focus and that rhythm that he had for all those other ends, you can say that he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
If he would have stepped up to the line and just trusted what had put him in this position, there's a good chance he would have been right there. So this is exactly what Team USA wanted, is to see a sweet head-to-head final here with a shoot-off to end things. So
you see the coach telling them that they need to focus, they need to trust their shot.
Yeah, there's a big difference in coaching, because, you know, Braden, you know, I've shot with Braden in the past, and, you know, Braden he's going to be super excited, and he's going to rally, and he's going to be jacked, and there's going to be some fist pumps. Whereas with the other coach, he's kind of taking you guys need to just calm down. You know, calm down. Don't get too nervous. Don't get too excited. So,
well, if you tell them not to get excited, then you're thinking about getting excited, and then you get excited.
It depends. You know, that's one thing that I talked about yesterday in my seminar was a good coach recognizes the type of mental athlete that they have. And there's some that are very task driven. There's some that will be highly motivated and will produce bigger for you if you tell them that they can. But then there's people like, myself or like Braden. If you told us that we couldn't, I don't think you can do it. I would be mad enough to where I would do it just to prove you wrong. So, and in the past on teams that I've played for, coaches recognize that, so they continually put these challenges in front of you, and challenges that are almost impossible, and sometimes you won't actually get them done, but in the end you're making progression trying to get there.
So for the first-time viewers, 1 arrow shoot-off, as the name implies, 1 arrow is shot per person. There you go.
There's a 10.
Right. Team USA.
There's the 10. I've got Faith right here. I think she's going to slam dunk her one right in the X.
And she cannot be thinking about the other team's arrow.
She's thinking about.
There you go.
Ooh, that's close.
That looks like it's in. Okay. Nine.
All right, here we go.
Well, at this point, if he shoots a 9, then it's closest to the center, and it's looking like.
Well, they're calling that a 10 unofficially for us, so he could just put an end to this right here.
Keep going.
There you go.
9.
Oh. So congratulations, Team Mexico.
It was a very good competition.
Number 1 beat number 2. It's been very consistent. If you're betting at home, so far, number 1 won the first match, number 3 beat number 4 in the second match, and now number 1 beat number 2. So it's been pretty consistent. Whoever came in here at a top seed so far has held that position. Congratulations, guys. That's going to be it's going to be some cervezas being popped open back home. For those of you who are in Mexico right now listening to this, I do welcome margaritas. So the next time you see me, I will have a margarita, please. No salt.
Or just send them to his address in the United States.
They'll find me. They'll find me. Most of them know me down there, so I always like seeing my Mexican archers. There's some great ones down there, and they're just so nice too. And I love going there for spring break. Puerto Vallarta is kind of my little hiding spot during the springtime. I go there with my family and
it is a nice place.
Soak up some sun.